Everybody, welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I'm fixing to give my controversial review opinion on Pinocchio.
Oh, I forgot you watched that.
Yes. Haven't watched Pinocchio in a while.
Oh, the original?
Yeah, the original.
Oh.
Haven't watched the original in a while. Decided to watch it because we do have the Tom Hanks version coming out soon.
Gotta give it a chance. It's Tom Hanks. But
And I wanted to rewatch the original.
compare it.
Or the Disney version, I should say.
Well, they're both Disney.
And, well, there's other Pinocchio versions.
Wow. People know what you're talking about, though.
But I remembered when I originally watched it, I just thought it was okay. I didn't love it. So as for positives, animation style is fine. I have no issue with the animation style. Voice acting is okay. It's fine. It's whatever. It doesn't hurt the film. It doesn't help the film. But the reason I say this is going to be a controversial opinion is because now I watch animated films. I have my favorite animated films. I know animated films can be a little out there at times. Look at Monster House, for example. And I shut my brain off to an extent watching animated films because I know they're made for kids, so they're going to have some stuff that doesn't make sense to us. It's just very, look at Up, a house that's able to float with balloons attached to it.
Obviously not possible.
Yeah.
No matter how many you have on there.
Yeah. But Pinocchio, to me, just has so much unlogical situations that it's very hard for me not to get annoyed by it. You have to start out, I'm okay in the beginning. I let it slide Geppetto's relationship with his fish.
That's a little weird, but
him petting it and stuff like that and feeding it. I want to say he even fed it like stuff that wasn't even fish food. And how the fish is very like alert and alert to everything. So, I overlooked that. I had no issues with that. But
what's that?
I
Felt like something fell.
Ball went across the floor.
I wonder if Addison had one of her balls in her bed.
We got Ghosty's bouncing balls.
Oh my god, it's my ghost.
But as the movie goes on and Pinocchio gets brought to life, and let's start there. He's brought to life. He's not turned into a real boy. He's brought to life.
Yeah. People mistake that sometimes.
I start getting issues with certain, when we get to, I think it's Honest John's the fox, I believe, or wolf or whatever. I think it's the wolf. When we get to his character, and he convinces Pinocchio to be like a star, come with him to this person, he'll make him a star. I felt like that should have been our main villain next to Honest John, I think was the character's name. This movie had like one too many villains. Now, one of the things that sort of stand out to me when he gets sent to be I can't remember the character's name, the puppeteer, basically. When he's sent to work with him in his show, when he throws him in the cage, you can clearly tell Pinocchio can get out of the cage. when they drew it, they didn't draw the cage to where it should have, to where it seemed like Pinocchio couldn't get out and escape easily. Um, Most of the time, you could tell he could actually squeeze through if he wanted to. Just that was just poor drawing on Disney's part, I guess, in my opinion. But then we get to scenes like when they go to that area where kids can do whatever they want, but they start turning into donkeys. I can't remember the name of what they call it. There's a scene where Pinocchio, you got a scene before that, let me back up just a little bit, when he's in the cage, you have scenes where he's crying. Now, he's not a real boy, so he doesn't have tear ducts. He doesn't have the ability to cry, but he's crying. Then when they get to the place where they turn into donkeys, you have Pinocchio get sick. He has no ability to get sick.
There's no system at all.
He's not a real boy. He's just alive. He's still a puppet. He's just alive. So he has no ability to cry. He has no ability to get sick. So none of that made sense. The whole scene when he goes to this place to cause destruction and be just this wild kid and ends up, and they start turning into donkeys, which he don't fully turn into a donkey. It just feels thrown in. It don't feel like it belongs in the movie. It just feels like they threw it in for runtime purposes. Because for me, it didn't feel like it progressed the movie either way. The only thing I could say it maybe did was make him distrust certain people, but you could have set that up already with the puppeteer guy that I can't remember his name. So I had a whole issue with that scene and that whole scene set up in general. Then when we get to the point where they have to go after Geppetto because he's being eaten by the whale. First off, what the hell is Geppetto doing out in the water, on the ocean, looking for Pinocchio?
That makes no sense.
Like, why did he take his fish and his cat
To an ocean.
onto a boat, onto the ocean, looking for Pinocchio? Where the hell did he think he went to in the water? And then, when they get eaten by this gigantic whale, the boat is pretty well intact, but this boat is a big boat. It's not like a little paddle boat or like a little boat that you row with, oars. It's a decent sized boat. But the whale doesn't look, in my opinion, they haven't drawn it big enough to swallow that boat whole with no chewing, because they're still alive inside this whale's stomach, which brings me, and they're surviving off of the fish that the whale eats, and they're fishing inside the whale to bring the fish onto the boat so they can eat and survive, which makes no sense because one, they should have been chopped, he should have at least chewed them. Because like I said, the whale wasn't drawn big enough, in my opinion, to have eaten that boat whole, and them whole. And then once in their stomach, why wasn't they getting digested? like they should be getting digested. It's up to you. They should have been getting digested. So that was a logical aspect I just couldn't ignore. And then when Pinocchio and Jiminy go under the water to find Geppetto, find this whale that's eating Geppetto, somehow Jiminy's able to breathe and talk underwater. This cricket. Pinocchio, I can let slide. He's a puppet. But how in the world is Jiminy breathing and talking underwater? And then, on top of that, when he gets caught in a bubble...
Is it crying your gears, funny?
Yeah. When he gets caught in this bubble, and he tries to... Or he's in this bubble, the bubble busts open, and it starts filling up with water. He freaks out and acts like he's going to drown. When he's already talking and breathing under the ocean.
Oh, my Lord.
I know this is an animated film. I get that. I really do. I get it. But come on. Come on. And then at the end of the movie, when Geppetto and Jiminy and all of them end up getting away from the whale and going back home, somehow this puppet is dead. He does not have the ability to die. He is not a real boy. I'll keep saying it. He's not a real boy. He has no ability to die. He has no ability to be knocked out, unconscious. And then when the blue fairy finally shows up and you hear her talk, her voice, and she turns him into a real boy, finally. He's brought back to life because somehow he was dead, even though he was a puppet. And I don't understand the love for this film. I don't. I'm going to watch the live action because of Tom Hanks and because of Tom Hanks only. And, well, because of Tom Hanks and also because I'm curious to see how they do about that island or whatever they call it that they went to where the kids got to do whatever they want because they were able to smoke, they were able to drink, and they were just kids. So I am curious about what they're going to do with that scene, if they'll leave it in, if they'll take it out and change it. So I am curious about that. So I will watch it for those two aspects. But if they do shot for shot, I think I'm going to scream. Because this is just, the Pinocchio story just is way too against, it's just way too out there. It's just not for me. I cannot get past all of that. It's just way too much thrown in. Like I said, I know it's an animated film. It's for kids. But I'm sorry. I can't. I can't with it. And I'm hope.
Nope. No. Ignore it.
What have you done? You started in Encanto. I guess it's a Disney video, so I guess that's okay. But we'll see how the live action goes. But I don't have high hopes. I think this would be a controversial opinion. So We'll see if I'm right when I post the video. How much hate I get, but it's just my opinion. I think Pinocchio. I gave Pinocchio 1 out of 5. Um, and that's just because the voice acting and the animation, or the I guess it was hand drawn back then. I'm assuming. It was all. It was nice. It was fine. So I gave it a 1 out of 5. Um, but that is everything from my take on this film. So please come like, subscribe, hit the bell, be notified for our videos, and we'll see you on the next one.